Are you looking to travel sometime during the fall, maybe at the end of the year or even into the spring? Well, the question you should be asking yourself, will you be able to travel? This is part 2 of the series. Back in May, I had a video where I talked about will we be able to travel this fall. But now that we're a few weeks away from fall, now we really can talk about, can we really do it? And can we really travel in the spring? And I know there are people who've been traveling the world, living their best life, going to Tulum and all this. However, from a global perspective, from a macro perspective, realistically, will you be able to travel? Period. Now, before I get started, I want to introduce myself in case you don't know who I am. I am Adriana Smith, the founder of Travelpreneur.com, the digital platform empowering new travelers to see and do good in the world. And while we aren't able to travel as much as we would like to, I definitely want to keep you informed about what international education professionals are doing and how we're working to make sure our students are healthy and safe if they're traveling across the world. And so I want to give you some insights so you can make an informed decision about whether to travel or not. Now, if you didn't check out part 1, make sure you do. So first things first, right? How safe is it to travel? Now, it depends on who you're talking to, right? For me, I'm very, very cautious. Think of safety in terms of what resources and tools that you need access to. Also, think of it in terms of will you be able to get out of trouble or emergencies if you're overseas? So safety also means about how safe it is in terms of cleanliness, right? Access to certain resources or tools in the country. So what does safety mean to you when you're traveling across the world? Does that include safety while traveling and moving around in the airport? Does it also mean while you're on the airline, when you're in country? Think about safety in those terms, and not just what people are sharing with you on the CDC's website or the U.S. State Department's travel advisory. You have to define and decide how safe you want to be, and if those countries and if traveling right now will do that for you. Number 2, what are other countries doing? As an international educator, I have some insight from my colleagues all across the world, and our partners in the UK and England are allowing students to come visit and study in the spring term. So you know the UK is allowing US citizens to visit. So that is one destination that you can go and visit. However, there is a 14-day quarantine period. So you will have to figure out if spending 14 days plus your actual vacation will be suitable and feasible. France is allowing and processing visas for students to come in the spring term on until next year. So will you be able to go to France fully? Will you be able to go to Spain or Germany or any other part of Europe fully? You have to decide what people are doing on the ground, and why I feel like having insight and what our partners are doing across the world will help you, because they're on the ground. They're knowing what their countries are doing and how safe it is for people to be out and about. And no matter how much you see in the media, and no matter how much you think you may know about a country, the people who are on the ground can tell you better. And number 3, what are international educators saying and doing? At this moment, it's unclear about whether we will allow students to go off campus next year. And at this moment, we are working to gather more information and more intel about on the ground actions and activities and problems and issues, while we decide whether it is safe and will our students be healthy while they travel to these destinations. Now, different institutions have different policies and ways that they're going to go about making this decision, but at this time for my college, we are not clear about whether we want to send our students off campus, especially with the uncertainty of COVID-19. We thought COVID-19 would have disappeared and would have been overcome in the summer, but here we are in the fall, right? So we're not sure what's going to happen in the spring term, especially when it's cold out. and especially during flu season, right? And so international educators are thinking about what it would mean in terms of actually participating, actually in terms of financial commitment. Who wants to commit money to a program or a trip and have it just swept away in a matter of minutes? And we're working week to week, so we're not sure what's going to happen and what changes may happen next week. How can we predict what's going to happen in a couple of months or even in early next year? So you have to decide, is it worth it? Are you willing to take that risk and willing to take that chance? Whether it's a financial commitment or an emotional or physical commitment, having to travel. Now, I know that's not what you were expecting, but as you know, I have to keep it real and I have to keep it honest and keep you informed about what's happening in the world based off of my insight and my intel, intel from people all across the world, and whether or not it is safe to do so. And now I know there are people online posting their pictures about where they've traveled or whatnot, and that's good and dandy, but do they have any shame? Now, drop a comment below and let me know if you agree, disagree, and what was your biggest takeaway from this video. Until next time.